Welcome to episode 18 of the Shamrock Green Room, your favorite podcast highlighting everything about Scotus Central Catholic and Columbus Catholic schools. Each episode, we discuss what it's like to be a Shamrock. Whether that is a current student, a teacher, an alum, or supporter, we want to hear your stories and why this is such a special place in education. I'm your host, Jon Brezensi, 1998 graduate, former boys head soccer coach, assistant football coach, and current assistant coach for the girls soccer program. Today, I'm joined by Roger Krienke. Roger is a longtime educator for Columbus Catholic schools, longtime sixth grade teacher at St. Anthony's, and will now transition over to Scotus this next fall. He's also been recently named the head football coach and is also on the track coaching staff. He's a longtime friend. Looking forward to sitting down with him today. This might get a little off the wall a little bit, but this will be a good discussion. So, Roger, thanks for coming in, buddy.
I'm excited, John. Happy to be here.
I bet. Got you away from. Did I get you away from washing windows today?
It's raining right now. So
is it?
Yeah, we're good to go, man. We got all day.
Perfect time. All day, baby.
Yeah, let's
all
go.
Day. All right, so we got a Pierce Blue Jay in the house out there, Shamrock Nation. So, Roger, just give us a little background on where you grew up in Pierce County, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in Pierce. My dad farms, still does. Grew up on the farm, went to Pierce High, graduated in 95. Just really good upbringing. You kind of talked about that a little bit. Just a lot of work. I mean, we worked all the time on the farm. I always had stuff to do. So I learned a good work ethic, I think, from my dad and grandpa and everybody else on the farm. And just a great way to grow up. Small town, played all the sports, just had great friends and just a fantastic upbringing.
So did your grandpa have the farm before your dad had it then?
Yeah, it's multi-generational. My great-grandpa Krienke, they came from Germany at some point in the 1880s, I believe, and everybody's been farming. I never caught the bug. I wanted to kind of coach from an early age, so I never really wanted to do that, but I always enjoyed helping my dad out and grandpa out and just working on the farm. It's a great situation to be in.
Mm-hmm. And so when your great-grandpa came over from Germany, you said, and settled in Pierce?
Yeah, well, I think they came to West Point first originally, and then I think land came available in Pierce. And Pierce is kind of a German town, and we're German heritage. Sure. And they came there, settled. And just my dad kind of grew the farm, expanded, put irrigation in. He was kind of a pioneer in that regard. So very successful farmer, and he still loves it.
Yeah,
and he'll do
still doing it?
Still full-time. Yeah, he loves it. 75, still going strong. So, yeah, bigger and better than ever, I guess. So,
plans for him down the road, or?
I think he's just going to be robo farmer. He's getting everything replaced. My mom is a RN, former RN. She really watches his diet closely, exercises. I think he wants to farm as long as he can.
As long as he can.
Yeah, he's got a guy kind of helping out. I don't know what my brother's plans are for sure. He has a doctorate in agronomy, actually, my little brother.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's going to ever come back and do it or not. I definitely will not. I'm getting too old for that. But, yeah, just a great town to grow up in. Fantastic.
And you said you're the oldest of four.
I'm the oldest, yeah. My sister Marcia was a grade below me, about a year and a half younger. Then another sister, Mary, was 4 years younger. And then my brother, Brian, is 8 years younger.
Okay.
So
kind of
spread out a little bit.
Your one sister's in Elkhorn, right?
Yeah, I got a sister in Omaha. She teaches. And then I have another sister out in New York City, Mary. She's kind of a publicist, kind of represents the Bernstein Bears. She went to Columbia. So she graduated Lincoln, went to Columbia for her master's, and then she's out in New York City. And my brother Brian's doctorate, and I think my sister Marcia was a salutatorian, so they got all the brains, I guess. So
you got the brawn.
I got the brawn, apparently. So yeah, great family. Still get along real well with everybody. So it's
awesome.
Fantastic.
And so you graduate in 95 from Pierce, right? And then you go up to USD. I
yeah.
know this already, but
yeah, played
football up there.
Yep.
Lineman.
Yeah, I did. Good experience at USD. Met a lot of lifelong friends. Played football, offensive lineman. Played for 4 years. Really injured my knee badly, so I did not play my fifth year. Probably could have. New coaching staff came in. But yeah, just changed majors a few times. Originally, I was going to be a PE teacher. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm ended up now, so that's good. They kind of said there's no jobs available. I said, well. Then I went to special ed. Then they said that's going to be tough also. So I said, where can a guy get a job? And then they said elementary ed. So I said, sign me up. And I took classes, and here I am.
So your advisor at USD?
Yeah, they just kind of looked at the landscape and said, "There's really a job."
So odd.
So teaching now, there's jobs available everywhere. At the time, it was very limited.
Really?
So I, originally wanted to be a high school teacher, PE right away, and then things kind of changed and it worked out real well.
Mm-hmm. What was it like to play football at USD?
It was an experience. I mean, coaching staff was very knowledgeable, but just some of the practices I don't agree with. I mean, it was kind of rough. But we had some success, and I walked on, and I ended up starting my senior year before I blew out my knee. So I mean, I made a lot of great strides, as far as athletically up there, just getting better, with the weight room and those work ethic and things like that. But just learned a lot. I mean, I learned a lot about football, and the difference in high school and college is pretty substantial. I mean, it's a job. It's not as fun. Honestly, I mean, I loved going to practice every day in high school. Loved it and loved being around my teammates. But it's just more of a job at the college level, and But it was 4 years, and we got through it and learned a lot, and moving on.
And it was part of a pretty tough conference back in the day.
Yeah,
still Division II back then, right?
Yeah, we were Division II. Now, USD is Division I.
All those old
championship series or whatever it's called right now. NCC conference was really good. We had UNO when they had football still. South Dakota State obviously was our number one rival. North Dakota State. Morningside was one of them. Augustana Morningside. And Mankato and Northern Colorado, they won national titles during that era too. I mean, North Dakota State, Northern Colorado, all won championships, in that era. And they're just – and North Dakota State is still really good. I think South Dakota State made it to the semis this year. So still really good football. It was week in, week out, everybody was good.
That's still good football even now today at the different levels that they're
at. Very good.
So, and obviously, you're a Coyote. Emma's going to be a jackrabbit. I saw that. Emma's going to be a jackrabbit.
That's too bad. I mean, that's really a hospitable place to play from my memories. I mean, I just remember one story about Brookings. I remember, I was I think I made the travel squad like at a sophomore or whatever. And we had to like dress in I don't know if we were in the auditorium or a building that's a few blocks away from the stadium. And I saw the older guys putting their helmets on. I'm like, what's going on? And the coach said, you better put your helmet on. And I was like, what's going on? I mean, we walked through the streets. They were lining the streets, throwing stuff at us. And,
seriously?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that's Brookings. They're not
rough place, huh?
A little bit. Yeah, it's an intense rivalry. I mean, rabbits get thrown out on the court. I've seen that. I mean, it's wild. Rabbits. I saw a dead rabbit. The dead rabbit gets thrown out in basketball games. Usually, somebody sneaks it in.
Oh my gosh,
it's wild. It's a good rivalry.
Was and actually, ironically, Emma's two visits that she took one to South Dakota State. She took one to USD.
Okay.
Commits to South Dakota State. Did they have like the football stadium back then?
Same one.
Remember?
Same one. I think they renovated it. We had
That's impressive.
It is. They got really good facilities up there. I remember Taylor Cease, former Scotus standout for us, and member of the Hall of Fame recently. Went up to watch him play South Dakota, and they did a lot of improvements. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, I think both schools have really
I was going to say USD's facilities are fanatic.
Basketball, USD's got new basketball arena. Mm-hmm. Really nice. A lot of money put it in, so it's working out well for them.
Yeah. So you graduate from USD, and then let's circle back to that in a second. Let's talk about your family. Married to Jill.
Yeah,
Where'd you
Jill.
guys meet?
Jill and I actually met on a blind date. My brother-in-law, John Hansen, was teaching in Neely. That's where Jill was teaching at the time. And I was coming up on about a half year at my first year at St. Anthony's in 2000. So just coming up on 2001. And he said, hey, I got somebody you might want to meet. And we went on a double date and just really hit it off and got married in 2003. I'm not looking at notes here. Hopefully I'm right. So we've been happily married 22 years, have 3 children. Mike's going to be a senior, and Brooke is going to be a junior, and Jake is our youngest. He's going to be a 7th grader here at Scotus.
Okay. What day did you guys marry in 2003? I'm going to throw you.
December 27th, buddy.
Okay. So
I got it.
Coming up. Good boy.
Coming up in a couple
Jill,
months.
he knew. He remembered.
I did. Wrote it on my hand.
So that's kind of interesting. You're obviously Mike and Brooke and Jake. I mean, what's it like to and you're able to teach them all through St. Anthony's?
I did. I taught them all. So at St. Anthony's, the last 25 years, The last, I would say 10 or so, we kind of departmentalized, which was really good. I really enjoyed it. Like I taught 4th, 5th, and 6th math and history.
Okay.
And so we just rotate the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders through. So, I just finished up teaching Jake for 3 years. I taught them all. So that was really awesome, just being able to do that. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of teachers really don't like teaching their kids, but I really enjoyed it. I mean, I really did. I think I never had any bad experiences whatsoever. Teaching them, just kind of, it was a good time to spend with them, and I really enjoyed it.
Did they ever just kind of, hey, Dad, can you help me with this? Or can you help me with that?
They were really, very rarely. I said, you guys got to call me Mr. Krienke.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe once or twice they slipped up and said Dad once in a while, but very, very, very limited. Just never had any behavior problems with them. Mm-hmm. If they ever did get in trouble, I just had a sixth sense. I knew they were in trouble. And I think all the other teachers tried to protect them a little bit, honestly, from me. I mean, it's just, so they kind of hit it.
Kind of keep it under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar. But, good kids, but it was just a lot of fun. I said, I'm probably going to have to treat you a little bit rougher than the other kids, so that, you don't get called on playing favorites. But very good experience. Never had any issues whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And then Jill's an educator as well.
Yeah, Jill, she coached too. Jill's a great coach.
When she was at Lee, right?
She was at Neely first, and she played volleyball at Wayne State. Along with her sister, and she got the job at Neely. I think, if memory serves me, they didn't win a set before she got there. Her first year won a set. Next year won a few more games. And when we were dating, I think her last year, they were one game away from making it to state. So she completely turned the program around. She's a great coach. Then she went to Neely with an assistant. One of us had to move. Oh, sorry, Lee. Yeah. My bad. One of us had to move. I was really considering going to Neely as well. I kind of got offered. It was kind of a weird deal. I had to teach I'd have to teach someone else, but they wanted me to coach football at Neely, be the head coach, before I was the head coach here. Mm-hmm. So kind of looked into that, and then she, I think, interviewed at Madison and Lee, got the Lee job, served as an assistant, and the assistant got cancer and passed away. Oh. Then Jill had to take over. So Lee had a really good program, and then Jill stepped in, and they went to state, I think, her last year as coach. So then after that, she went to Lakeview.
Got it.
Got a little bit closer, just a little too far a drive.
Yeah, that's a long drive. It's not an easy drive either.
No, a couple scrapes, just a couple scary moments driving on the icy roads. Yeah, just little kids, it was just hard. So she looked for a closer opportunity, and her actual principal at Lee went to Lakeview, Steve Bohr, and it worked out really well. Yeah. So he's a great guy, and so she's really loved it at Lakeview.
How long has she been there now?
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I think since 2009, I'm thinking, around that area. So she's been there quite a while, loves it. She really likes her upper-level math stuff. She does some college-level stuff, through Wesleyan, and she really enjoys it a lot.
Like an adjunct professor?
Yeah, yep, she does some college-level classes for credit. Yeah, so she really likes it at Lakeview.
Awesome. So you were at 25 years at St. Anthony's. What was that like?
Oh, really good. Norma.
I'm a Southsider.
Southsider, yeah.
Southsider, baby.
That's right. Southside for life. That was my first interview, and I
oh, really?
For very first interview, came in. Our longtime principal, Norma Kramer, sat me down. We talked a little bit. And
she was awesome.
Yeah, very good administrator. And she sat me down and interviewed. I think Amy Sokol, our current principal, was in on the interview as well. And then I think they kind of chit-chat a little bit. Then they brought the priest in, Father Chris, and he's like, "You want the job?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
Really?
First interview, I said, "I'll take it."
Wow.
Sure. So
did you interview anywhere else?
Nowhere.
Really?
I didn't. That was my first and only interview.
First only interview.
Yeah. I said, well, why not?
And you've been at St. Anthony's the whole time.
Yeah. 25 years. So I did not expect that to happen, but just really good people. It's a great parish, and just a small town feel. I'm kind of a small town kid from Pierce, and Columbus is, believe it or not, a big city for me. I mean, so just being a part of the smaller school was good for me, and I really enjoyed it, just getting to know the people. Very good parents, down-to-earth people over there, so really enjoyed my 25 years.
And so you get to Scotus, or you get to Columbus Catholic Schools at St. Anthony's in 2000. So did you start coaching right away through?
Yeah, my second stop after my interview, I think they called Gary Pitts. And I met Gary in the weight room, and we chit-chatted a while. And funny thing, we had a story about his son, Nick. Nick took a recruiting trip to USD, and I was in on it. So he kind of talked about that a little bit. So I did remember that recruiting trip. So
something we probably can't repeat.
Probably can't talk about all that right here, but Gary and I really hit it off, and he said, "Well, let's get you coaching." So, yeah, my first year I coached, I think 3 sports right away.
Really?
Right away I got in on junior high football assistant, and I was helping Julie Blauser coach basketball. So I was coaching
junior high girls basketball.
Junior high girls basketball, helped coach that, and junior high track. So I did that a few years. So that was my start here at Scotus.
Okay. And then, so you're on the staff for a couple of years, obviously. Then through the transition of Jim and Gary stepping away. Then
I was here for Gary and Jim were here 2 years. I was there for the last 2 years, so I was helping those guys. I was just kind of a fly on the wall, followed them around. Okay, did whatever I could to help out, just kind of volunteered.
Soak stuff up.
Yeah, I did. Gary, the thing about Scotus is that really I appreciate was like Gary really took me in. I mean, he brought me to everything, took me to coaches' clinics. We didn't maybe actually go to all the coaches, but we had a lot of fun.
Story for another day.
Yeah, story for another day. But we really had a lot of fun, and they just made you feel a part of the family.
Yeah.
And Gary did a lot for me, in my coaching career, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, Gary's one of the best line coaches of all time, and you're a lineman, so you probably just kind of hit it off with that.
We sure did. I mean, Gary. So I really had no experience in the throws, and I was
for track,
and they put me at coaching the throws, and I just learned a lot at that time. Jesse Benda, he's a guy right now. He's at Boys Town.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of showed me a few things, and I really got hooked on the throws. I really enjoyed it. Went to a lot of clinics, bought videos, and really turned into kind of a passion of mine. I really enjoyed it, and been coaching throws ever since for 25 years.
Wow. And then so you dabbled a little bit in the junior high basketball. How long did you do that for?
I think I did. Memory serves me. I did junior high assistant with Julie a couple years, and I was actually I was head junior high boys for a couple years. Okay, and I really enjoyed basketball. I did. I mean, I liked practicing in the morning. Was good for me. I'm a morning guy. But yeah, the junior high. I mean, we had a ton of kids out, and we had some success. It was fun. I mean, but basketball, it was just one of those things where I don't know exactly why I got out. I think when I became head coach, I needed a season off kind of deal.
Yeah.
And I think you and I kind of started doing winter conditioning and things like that.
Yeah, that would have been around that time I moved back then.
Yeah, I think you came back in 05, 06, somewhere around there. But so we got out of junior high basketball, but I did enjoy basketball.
Okay. So when you were, let me ask you this, because we had those charity basketball games too, if you remember.
Packed
house. I remember seeing that old dirty Laker get busted out. Did you teach that to those junior high kids?
We might have started working the low post dirty Laker with a couple of those kids, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Those were good times.
Those were good times those couple of years that we did it. Just unfortunately, too many Achilles tears in those games.
Who all got hurt?
Gonka,
Coach
Mr.
Anuka
blew his Achilles, and Gonka blew his out as well.
Back-to-back years. I think Coach Linder, Tyler Linder, he broke a finger maybe. I mean,
something.
The Schuyler superintendent, I got really injured.
Broke his arm or something.
Yeah, I got injured pretty badly on a hard foul.
Yeah, in a charity game.
It got kind of serious there for a little bit.
That was fun though. All right, so you get named head coach for football in 04 season, right?
Yeah, so I was here, so 04, so Jim and Gary, I was under them 2 years. Steve Kozad came for 2 years and kind of helped him out. Just didn't work out, and he moved on, and then I got asked to be the head coach.
In 04.
04, that was my first year.
So it would have been my brother-in-law's senior year.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony's.
Touchdown Tony.
Yeah.
I think he still holds our record for most yards in the game. Like
391
or something like that, yeah.
I was at Madison. I was at that game. Remember
at
the game?
Fog Bowl. Yeah,
I remember yelling at you, put Tony back in.
I really don't think I had any idea what the total yards were. Yeah. I don't know if Tim Harrington was still doing stats back there, but they might have said something. Did we put him back in?
You did, yeah.
Okay, so we did to get the record. But, Tony was a great player, and he was a super leader. We're hard work in the weight room, so made my first year successful.
Yeah. Well, and I ended up moving back in 05, and then Gary kind of did the same thing with me when I moved back.
Yeah.
And then, hey, do you want to coach football? And, I was fortunate enough that work allowed me to, and was brought on. Jeff and I got brought on as freshman coaches in that first year.
You and Jeff were fresh. Okay. Now, then Jay came the next year.
Jay came in. Jay's first year was 08.
You recruited. It was 08
from work. Yeah.
Okay,
08.
so you guys were freshman coaches in 05?
Just freshman coaches, remember?
Okay. I did not say that. No. Somebody else did.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that was great staff. So, yeah, Coach Mr. Jeff Anuka was coaching with you. You guys were the freshmen.
Him and I moved back within weeks of each other.
Oh, really? Because the freshmen were totally separate.
Totally separate that year still. So it would have been like Chase Byerman was a freshman that year.
Wow,
Billy
good group.
Kurtenbach.
Good group.
Yeah, Taylor Cease.
Yeah,
Taylor.
they're fantastic
that was
kids.
Josh Reeve. We had a nice freshman group. And that was probably the last year that we really kept freshmen because other schools were starting to.
Yeah.
We were playing freshman, sophomore teams and
every
so
time.
And Vern kind of mentioned that too in his podcast. But
okay, because my first year as head coach, I had Vern Younger and Gary Pitts. I talked them into coming back and coaching freshmen.
Yeah, and then Jeff and
I really valued the freshman program a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a unique thing that we did that kept freshmen out. It kept them separate. Because looking back as a kid, you were like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hit those upperclassmen, and it kind of gave them one more year to get bigger and learn the system, learn how to. I think that's one of the secrets to Scotus' success was Vern Younger's freshman program was outstanding, and I did coach with Vern a year as freshman.
Phenomenal coach.
Yeah, he was. Him and I coached 1 year together as freshmen.
Yeah.
And boy, I learned a lot from Vern. Just how he was kind of a one-man show, and he was great.
Yeah. And so so you're head coach from the season of 04 through 14, right?
13.
Yep,
through 13. Yeah, I stepped away. I think I was 10 years, and I think Tyler Linder, he came here in 11. And I kind of
that's right.
Tyler came in 11, and
I remember the Saturday morning he came because we were I think
he was a young guy.
We were working out. I think
he
met us
right.
there. Remember we were working
right.
out. That's when we did those early morning.
That's true.
5
maybe on a
workouts.
Saturday or something like that or whatever. And I just kind of met with him and we kind of hit it off. And one of the things I do is if I get a new coach, I like to just keep them close and see what they can do. And so he was my assistant D-line coach in 11, and after about 2 days, I said, this guy is special, and he needs to do more, and I just handed him the reins to the D-line. He did great. And then I think you stepped away in 12.
13 was my season of 12 was my last year.
So you guys kind of coached together, and then you stepped away. You're the D coordinator. So he got promoted to Tyler got promoted to defensive coordinator in 13. Did a really good job, and then I was like, I'm just ready. I had little kids, and it was burnout maybe somewhat of a factor, and we were having success. And Tyler I just felt like being out of the building and having a young guy coming in kind of put us over the top, and we won a state championship, and the next 2 years from that spot. So. We had things coming up, and things worked out really well. Yeah,
but you think about those early years, like when we were coaching together, and I tell the people this a lot. This was pre-huddle.
Oh yeah,
remember pre-huddle? Yeah. I mean, getting together, like going on scouting on a Friday night. If we had a night off, we'd go scout out of town, and then we'd have to meet with the coach.
Every
go
time.
Meet somewhere and meet him halfway. Get the like the old school stuff, trading tapes, and then
VHS when I started.
VHS, and then we had to come and dub the tapes, 4 tapes.
Yep.
Then, it was like a weekend process.
Yeah, it's funny. Like it's a new, doing the same thing now, and I don't know which way is better. I mean, there's so much stuff with technology right now. I think, Tyler and I kind of agreed. It's like, when do you stop?
I know.
We had every film on everybody. Yeah. And as a special teams coordinator, that's okay. There's 30 plays a game on special teams, so I would go through every single play that anybody's ever run. Yeah. And that's hard to do on defense and offense. You just don't have the time. No. So, it can become, I think Tyler he really watched a lot of film. And I think we all did, Jay and Jay Pellon, myself, and Tyler watched a lot of film, and it's just at some point it's kind of nice that you just had those 2 tapes, and that's it, and then you can move on.
But even those 2 tapes back in the day, then
we had to make our own. We made our own
huddle stuff. I just remember we coach a Friday night game.
Yeah,
get up early Saturday, and man, I just you look back on those things, and you kind of you talk about burnout and those. When I was done in 12, and then did the college stuff. And then came back. I enjoyed being away from it. I enjoyed the 2 years that I was back, but it was just the second time I came back, I was just kind of like,
It's a lot.
You miss away time from your family, so
yeah,
it is what it is. But
we
had some good stuff though, like
our old computer program. Did you have to enter all that stuff? I remember doing that.
Going to St. Anthony's and putting that in, remember?
I'd
read it out, you'd type it in.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Just hash, yard line, boom.
It was just boom. And
we got the readout.
Yeah. So we made that all on an Excel sheet. But yeah, those were the days of grinding down. But who are some of the guys your coaching mentors that you would probably maybe helped shape how you coached early, and now we'll kind of get into the second stint here in a little bit. But
yeah, that's great. Like my favorite high school coach was Ron Sangston. He was our math teacher at Pierce. Super long time offensive line coach. He was he talked like Elmer Fudd. He always had an untucked shirt. He looked disheveled, but he's a genius. I mean, he built houses and just upper level math. And he always had a way of explaining really complicated concepts in a way, us farm kids could understand. I mean, he'd tell us, if we're pulling, he's like, it's like shooting geese. You got to lead them. He's stuff like that. He would say, just great, down-to-earth guy, but he's just a genius and just super fun to be around. And then I would say here, my number one mentor was Gary Pitts by far. Mm-hmm. We coached the same things, and Gary really took me in, showed me how to watch film. All this, we're talking about all this new technology. I still use Gary Pitts' 1980 offensive line grading sheet. It's still the same template. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah. And I think that was, playing for Gary, obviously, and I wasn't a lineman, but Jim and Rick Grubaugh, Rick was our offensive coordinator, and in our backs, we had grading sheets as well. That was just different stuff. Like,
accountability.
So much from that, yeah.
Just being accountable, knowing that you're getting watched. I think, my linemen know that I'm going to watch every step. Just in Jim. Jim was just fun to be around. Jim Pitts was fun to be around, and Gary was more the analytical guy. Jim was the organizer, motivator, and I really learned a lot from Vern Younger. Just how to motivate, how to be enthusiastic, working hard. Those guys were great. And then honestly, the last 10, 11 years, I've learned a lot from Coach Linder. I've had it's been a great relationship, but a great ride with him. Yeah. I told him I couldn't be an assistant football coach to anybody else. I really enjoyed coaching with Tyler. And I think you brought a lot to me. John, you came in and really, I think, showed, what's possible here at Scotus, just work ethic wise and accountability and intensity. You're an intense guy, and you were great for our program. So just a lot of great people here at Scotus. Coach Lom, Coach Tooley, just you can go on and on.
Special plays. Yep. Yeah, for sure. What's in that early, you mentioned some couple memorable games that stick out to your head. What kind of stick out? Oh,
just over the years, talked about Tony's, Tony Course going for close to 400 yards. One of our breakout. I thought, we kind of 2007, we were on the edge of getting really good, and we traveled to Fall City. You were there for that, right?
Yeah, that was a great game.
Overtime game, kicked the field goal to win it. We had a lot of success in 2008. Just those sort of games, just really, and obviously state championship game. In Lincoln, playing Norfolk Catholic, looking across the field and seeing, Coach Beller over there, and just playing, I think, one of our best games we've ever played. Just played outstanding that game, and just being a part of that was fantastic.
Well, I just think, and probably just your regular fan doesn't understand, like, a lot of different things, but, like, your attention to detail and everything that you do. I think that's a huge strength of yours. Like, even when you were head coach, when I was coaching with you, your details were really, I always gave you a lot of crap about some different things. But not my grammar. My grammar's not great. No, but to your credit, you're always thinking about, okay, if, we got to have a plan for this or have a plan for that. And I just remember I called you out on one time. I think we had a little argument there, but that was fun. But and then even when I came back and you were a special teams coach, your details, and even now watching you coach, as I'm on the chain gang side and watching you, I know your guys are prepared because you do such great work.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And I think, special teams, that's what we're going to stick with that and with our new staff. And I really found a passion for that. I didn't know I loved special teams as much as I would, but it just turned out to be a great thing in my career.
Well, let's kind of jump right into that. So you got named head coach again. Congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited for that.
Yeah.
I guess, so you're kind of coming back for a second stint. Obviously, you learn as you grow older, right?
Yeah.
I guess, what are you looking forward to now the second go-around?
The second go-around, it's kind of been unexpected, Tyler leaving. But the thing that I'm excited about more than anything is the staff. I mean, I could not imagine having a better staff. Just the guys have stepped up. I think the number one guy right now is Jay Pellin. He's just really having a good time. I mean, we did 7-on-7 yesterday, and Jay's just got a lot in. He's excited about it.
You guys doing that at Lakeview again?
Yeah, we went up to Lakeview, had 7-on-7, had some success yesterday.
Nice.
Played well, but just having those guys step up, and it's just, I think, like Coach Johnson kind of said it right. We're all in this together right now, and it's just we're kind of in this situation, and I didn't even hesitate. I called. I don't know. I texted. I said, I'm in. I want to do it. And I just think it's the right move, and we have continuity. I mean, nothing's changed. We're gonna miss Tyler immensely, but the staff right now is Jay Pellin is our offense coordinator. So we had to fill the shoes of Tyler, as far as defense coordinator. So that's going to be Tanner Johnson and Michael Raruka.
Okay,
will be the co-coordinators. And then we have Nate Tennifer's going to step up and do more technology stuff for us. And, round out the staff, Randy Jacobowski. He has been a long-time assistant. Jim Rawhauser, Chad Gonka. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody there. But those guys we've been meeting for about 2 months, every weekly.
On Sundays? Sunday mornings?
Well, we try to. If that doesn't work out, we do something else. But I'm just really tickled to death with their commitment right now, and they want to do help out as much as possible. They're always asking, what more can we do? That's just a great situation to be in.
Are you going to continue to be special teams coordinator then?
Yeah, we talked about that, and so my role is going to be special teams coordinator, head coach. I'm going to run the offensive line, and now I'm going to run the defensive line as well. So. Coach Johnson was doing that. He's going to move to linebackers, and Michael Aruka will go to the secondary. So we got that covered, and Randy will take the outside backers, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, that's going to be exciting. I mean, obviously, I think it's got some good things going. Staff continuity is huge, especially in the transition.
It is. It's been very smooth. There's just a lot of things that we got to order footballs. We got to order this. It's just things that once you get into your systems and you get your contacts that you need to talk to, it's going to be good. So just a lot of administrative stuff right now we're getting taken care of, but otherwise we're kind of ahead of the game, I think, as far as football wise. This summer we're doing well. So
doing 7-on-7, like you guys doing. Obviously, you got your camp coming up, right?
Yeah,
for all those listeners out there, get their kids signed up.
Yeah, we'll have camp in July, and we'll have for varsity. We'll have 2 weeks of camp, but we'll have a break of a week in between. We're really one of our big emphasis, this summer has been on just not burning kids out. I mean, I think there's just so much going on, and everybody's competing for time, and we're really aware of kids and their commitment. So I think it's something that Coach Field actually started. She's doing a great job in the weight room, and I'm helping her out just in the mornings for the first session every day. And she just said Monday through Thursday, we're going to go 4 days. We're going to get the kids Friday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I mean, rest, the more, like you mentioned, like what have I learned as a coach? I think, rest and recovery are huge. We did sprints this morning, and, the kids just wanted to get them done. Let's get them done. I said, no, we had the clock going. I said, we're going to start on the minute, every minute. And there was one they snuck in on me. They kept going, and they wanted to get done faster. And it wasn't very good. And I said, well, look at the effort there. The effort wasn't there, and gave them a little more rest, and then the effort was there. So I think they're kind of learning that rest is not for the weak. It's just something you need to be optimal. As far as performance.
Yeah. Looking back, people that stuff that we did. That was just more to
toughness.
That was definitely wouldn't do that again.
We could not get away with that anymore, I don't think.
No, definitely would not do that.
That's hardcore.
All you listeners out there that had to go through that retrospect.
Saturday morning makeups. We can't talk about that.
No, can't talk about that.
Oh, gosh. That was crazy.
There's probably a lot of things you and I probably can't talk about.
That's right. We'll keep it quiet.
That's okay. That's right.
It was all in good intentions.
It was.
We wanted
to. Just one of the things.
Young guys make mistakes.
That's definitely right. And I think, me personally, too, just as a coach now, I'm 20 years after, you definitely would do things differently. But I think we're better coaches than we were probably.
Yeah.
And probably more. And I think this is a lot for younger coaches to understand. And I think we were this way too. Like probably in our younger years, more transactional. Like, okay, what are you guys going to do for us? You know what I mean? Like that's a transactional coach. I think now definitely try to be more transformational. You know, how can we impact kids? And I think that's
relationship
building's big. Yep. Well, let's kind of transition it. Like, obviously you've been a great track coach as well. You mentioned being throws. Coach Taylor to a state title back in
all class gold. Yeah.
Talk about your passion for track too.
Track's just started. It was, like I said, junior high. I learned some things. Then I was varsity coach for about 15 years. We sent a kid to state every single year except for one. And then that year we didn't send a kid to state. It was actually Taylor Cease. He was lost in his last throw to go.
Districts?
At districts to make it to state. He was sitting third. He got beat out on his last throw. So we had a run there where I think we had about 15 years in a row sending a discus thrower to state. So we had a lot of success there. Took it over again this year and sent another kid down to state, a little Pellon kid. Little guy came up, cranked one out at districts and made it to state. So that was really fun to see.
And he threw a PR by 2 feet.
I was like 4 feet.
Oh, was it really? Yeah. I just remember.
He was like 44.5 and he
busted a 47, didn't he,
almost high 47, like 10 and a half. I mean, it's just crazy. So, you see those things in track, and it's amazing, like just what kids can do, in pressure situations. It's just fun to see kids perform like that, and just the look on the parents' face, and everybody's excited. It's just it's a great feeling to help a kid achieve goals. That's what it's all about. And
it was fun, with Allie running track this year. It was definitely fun to kind of see that.
Yep.
I've helped at track meets, but not actually being a parent in a track environment was fun. And it was fun talking to you because you can just see. I always just love talking with you because you're so passionate about it.
It's fun. It was good to see you out there, man.
Yeah. Well, and Allie and Brooke have become pretty good friends over there, which has been kind of fun to see.
And track is just an individual sport, and you got to compete, and it's a neat thing. It's a different, more maybe a little more laid back than the team sports, but I've enjoyed it a lot.
But there's definitely a team aspect to it too.
There is.
Like you got your individual event, but also there's definitely a team component into that. There's a little bit of strategy involved.
And relays and things like that. And Coach Mo did a great job this year. It was fun. It was fun to be back on the varsity staff. I really enjoyed it.
Going to continue that?
We'll talk. I don't know what the plan is going forward because I took over. Alex Rubick, formerly Alex Meyer, came back. We coached together for a year, and I'm like, well, she's got this. She's a great thrower, and I just went to junior high, and I really enjoyed junior high. I thought, boy, you can really shape kids and get them excited about throwing early. So we had a lot of success in junior high for 2 years, and then she was going through a pregnancy, and they asked me to come back, and boy, I really kind of caught the bug again. So we'll see what happens.
Sure. Well, I guess kind of circling back to football again, I guess you probably reflected this on a little bit, but I guess, what's your vision now for the football team or the football program?
Well,
because it's a little bit different. We kind of have a youth program started now.
That's big. Yeah. And, talking about guys we're really going to miss, Ryan Baker was a big part of he just volunteered to do it. So change is, formerly it was like, they used to call it midget football here in town. And now we have Columbus Catholic Schools. We can have our own team. So like last year, I've been a part of it for a couple of years now because Jake was in 5th and 6th grade. So I coached with Ryan. And, they practice twice a week, play on Sundays, and then it's our own stuff. So I think, it's really, I think could be a valuable tool, moving forward. We had 3 teams in the 5th and 6th grade.
Wow.
And I think Lakeview had 1, Columbus High had 2, so our kids
interested.
Our kids played, and, we had teams of like 13, 14, 15 kids. So everybody played a ton. We weren't, if we put everybody on the top team, we had been maybe more successful. But boy, I tell you, we had a lot of kids that really enjoyed football. They were happy to be out there. We really tried to make it fun for them. So probably going forward, I'm going to be pretty involved in the 5th and 6th grade program. I think I'm going to have to.
Is that when it starts?
Yeah, well, they do 3rd and 4th flag. That's more just kind of the parents handle that a little bit. But the 5th and 6th grade, which is 11 on 11, tackle, full gear. And, we're really smart about it, how we do things, but keep kids safe. But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that, and so going forward, I think that could be
probably a good way to build numbers.
With me being I think junior high is a great fit. I'm going to be junior high health/PE or fitness, they're calling it, but I think just trying to get kids involved in 5th and 6th grade, then 7th and 8th grade, and our junior high staff is outstanding.
Who's that?
Jared Ritter.
Okay.
Chris Mustard, Mike Allen, Joe Showan.
So longevity there as well.
Yeah, and they really have been doing it for a long time, and Jared just is fantastic about getting kids out in junior high. I mean, we have great numbers. They make it fun, so we just got to keep that going.
Yeah, sure. Oh, good. Well, we'll kind of transition here is now as a parent, you've been able to, we talked about, teaching all 3 kids at St. Anthony's. And now what's it like to kind of see them go through their experience at Scotus?
Oh, yeah, it's been good. I mean, St. Anthony's is great. It's kind of like a little cocoon. You're kind of sheltered over there a little bit, then they come over here. It's just, it's just a different, it's a bigger school, but just, staying active, being in activities and groups and clubs, I think that makes your experience good. I mean, all my kids have had great experiences here. It's just staying active. Yeah. I mean, it's been really good. Find good friend groups is my advice for, kids. Find a group of friends that have the same values, and just stay active. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just stay active and be around people and have fun doing it.
I grew up going to Catholic schools. You grew up in Pierce. Did they have a Catholic grade school?
I think our grade school, I would have went to a Catholic grade school. I think with smaller, more Lutheran, Pierce, big Lutheran church in Pierce, smaller Catholic church. But I think in 1980 it closed. We had a very, very small elementary Catholic school, St. Joseph's, and I would have went there, but it closed. I think in 1980 it was like 3, so I did not go. I went to public school.
Okay. What was, I guess, so as a parent, what was it like to kind of send your kids through a Catholic school system, through Columbus Catholic School?
It was good because I kind of had, I was teaching already, at St. Anthony's, and then we made the decision that, that's what we're going to do, and, I'm teaching here, so I want my kids to go, through the Catholic school system, and it's been really good. I mean, I've seen my kids grow in faith, and, it's just really, it's been a great, I couldn't ask for a better, elementary experience for my kids, and now going into Scotus, things have been great.
Yeah. And you and Jill been involved in different levels. I mean, you and Jill been involved in the gala.
Yeah, we were gala chairs, or co-chair, then chairs, did that.
What years were that?
2 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been very recent. So we did that. So there's a lot of things going on at Scotus that, people volunteer for, and it's unique, for instance, the Knights of Columbus do a lot of work. If things need to get done, we got to find people to do it, and you need those volunteers, and it was a big commitment, but I was happy to go through it because you kind of see the importance of things like the gala and what goes into that.
Yeah. Well, and for all you Shamrock people listening out here, when you do come to the gala, Roger's one of the first people you see. Him and Jill help check you in.
Well, not anymore. Yeah,
not anymore?
That's different now. Yeah, that for years we were the check-in crew. That's right. But now I think they just kind of do it more online or something when you walk in. Yeah. But now we're the coaches we're the bar. We're not we're not bartenders. I think what do we call that?
Drink servers.
We're runners or something like that. So. Yeah, so we're doing that now. So
you did that this year? Was that the first year doing that this year?
Yeah, because I was chair for 2 years, and then because we moved it back over, we were part of that group that moved it back over to Scotus, and I think it's been real successful. Okay. We wanted to make it more fun and get more people involved, and I think we achieved that. I was really proud. I was really proud of that.
Yeah.
Just getting it to be more of a. There was a lot of discussion on both sides, but I just thought it's been a great thing coming back to Scotus.
So was this the second year back at Scotus?
Yes, it was.
And so you were chair last year, and you guys.
Yeah, we were the chairs when it came over for the first time.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought that went really well.
Yeah.
Moving it over because I think COVID, changed things a little bit where they moved it over, but now we have more room, more space, and they really did a great job at decorating. It looked great.
Yeah, this was the first year Chrissy and I went in quite some time. It was fun.
It is good. It is. And I think it's going to just keep getting better.
Yeah, I think so too. It's continue to grow. So if you haven't been able to get to it, try to get to it at some point. But yeah, that was a good time. So, well, I guess so that we're kind of getting into the final stretch here. But obviously you've been involved in Columbus Catholic Schools now for 25 years. I guess If I could ask, like what kind of impact has that made on you, as a coach or as a dad, as a husband? I guess what's kind of that impact been on you?
I think the people, we talk about Scotus, but it really comes down to the people. I think there's, just great people, and you form great relationships, with people over time. And, I just think at Scotus, you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself. And as a teacher and a coach, you just want to do what you can do, to carry that on, carry the tradition on. We talked about this the other day, like head coaches. I think there's been like 3 head coaches in the last 50 years here, me, Tyler, and Jim, so, there's just big time tradition here. And I think the kids get that when they walk through the halls, and it's our job to keep that going and make them understand about it. So we have great kids, great work ethic, great parents. It's just a good situation to be in, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and this will be kind of your first go around as a teacher in here. What are you excited about?
Well, I've my first impression was going to be PE, and now it's got more health. We're going to do some health and some other things. So I'm around Heidi Field right now every morning. So we're going to get into that, as far as, what the curriculum is and how many days a week am I going to teach.
So like in a classroom setting?
Yeah. So I took over Coach Tooley's classroom.
Oh, okay.
So I'm up there now. And just kind of what we're going to do, because Heidi's just kind of knocking it out of the park right now, and she's almost overloaded with strength training. So,
from a class standpoint?
From a class standpoint, I think sign-ups for next year, she just has a ton of kids signing up. So that's good. Get some more sleep in the morning. So I'm excited because I really kind of just coached in junior high track for 2 years. The high school kids just couldn't believe I was having fun coaching. They're like, how do you it looks like you're having fun down there. So I think I really enjoy it. So I think, just coaching, I'm going to have 3 periods of 7th grade, 3 periods of 8th grade.
In health?
Health/PE.
Okay.
So it's kind of
up and down.
We got to figure it out, as far as how many classes a week am I going to teach health and whatnot. So,
gotcha.
So it's going to be good. And I kind of know those kids pretty well. That's Jake.
Sure. Jake's buddies and all that.
Yeah, because I've coached those guys in football, and things like that. So it should be a good transition.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a little different transition, obviously, coach or teaching here versus being an elementary setting, a little different.
It's all new to me. So, it's exciting. A lot of change this year, obviously. But, change is good. Sometimes you just need a little, change in your life, and, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I guess, so my final question with everybody is how would you describe Scotus Central Catholic in one word?
I said tradition, I think. It's a tradition of, being the best, in everything you do. I think just having high standards, and there's just so much tradition and excellence in this school, and it's our job as the current coaches to carry that on. That's what we try to do every day. We're working hard to do it. So, we got a lot of people pulling in the same direction here, and a lot of good people. So I think the future's bright.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you guys coming up. I'm excited for you taking the football reins again. It's going to be fun. I'll be seeing you on the other side.
And maybe on the sideline in the
trying
future.
To give you I don't know about that.
I'm trying to get you back.
I know. I'm not sure. If I can give you another inch in the chain, I'll do that.
Do it. Do it.
Try to finagle that a little bit.
Everything helps.
Yeah. So, well, again, we kept this pretty clean out there for you listeners. So this could have been we could have told some different stories, but it was fun. No, Roger's you've been a great friend, longtime friend. Appreciate our friendship, and again, wish you all the best.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
And thanks for coming in today. So, if you're interested in hearing more Shamrock Green Room episodes, subscribe to us and rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure to follow us on our social media channels, Scotus Central Catholic on Facebook, X, and YouTube, and Columbus Catholic Schools on Instagram. If you have some ideas for some guests on the podcast, please email me at coachbrez@gmail.com. Thank you again for joining us in the Shamrock Green Room.